Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. We're taking a quick look here at Solana, seeing what's going on. We're going to jump into some back-end data here and just help recognize best practice and big picture in situations like this. Again, we looked at this last night and it looked like it was primed and ready to sweep more liquidity. Surprisingly enough, it continued higher. We're at a 9 on today's sequential and we're going sideways now, so we're getting that nice consolidation. Quite possibly might see another leg up, but we're going to talk about if there's retracement, how much further down it could go, and then also understand, roughly what kind of, what kind of strategy you want to have in situations like these, because a lot of folks are kind of lost sometimes, like, what do I do? How do I do it? And hopefully we can get some clarity there for you. But just to quickly note here, we got awesome amount of liquidation here at about 77, 78, 79, 80. It pretty much continues to go up. And I apologize when I say awesome, I'm not referring to you if you were trying to short, because that sucks, right? But it's also one of those things where situations like these, you probably don't have any reason to short, and taking long positions right now is just a much better option, okay? So just friendly advice, try not to short the market, even if Solana is closer to $90 and it just seems crazy, right? So that having said, I do want to congratulate and welcome some awesome members. We got some phenomenal traders over in our group here. Thank you again so much for being an awesome part of my life. Congrats on our near protocol trade. We took 112% in, I guess you could say 24 hours, roughly 2 days, and effectively, what was that? That was a nice little 6x leverage trade. So fantastic stuff there. So congrats to that. Also, I got a lot of new premium members and premium plus members. Please make sure you read through the signals guide so you understand, the recommendations for the signals and how to link your accounts if you want. And more importantly, just how the signals work and how to structure them effectively. Okay. So again, there's different strategies, but these are my recommended strategies for how I trade. Okay. All right. So that said, let's jump into the charts here and kind of see what's going on. So as I mentioned before, it was important and a big deal that we broke above this resistance level at about 76, because again, we had a lot of candlestick closures on the daily right at that level. So again, we're in prime position to have to likely continue because of that. We can also see as well here, we got this line at about 79.60. We could just say round number $80. That was a previous resistance level, potentially turn support. Again, I say potentially because it's only been tested one time. That's not really that big of a deal, but it was the only time we wicked up that far and couldn't get past it for a little while. So just an important level to kind of pay attention to, really all there is to it. Again, a lot of these lines and a lot of these scenarios that I have up here are potential hypotheticals. Eventually they may never occur. The thing that is occurring is that we're still staying above the 20-day SMA concurrent with this ascending trend, and we want to respect the fact that as long as we're on the right side of those tracks, we can assume the price is going to continue higher. Okay, that's really what the bottom line is. And again, it's not like it's a line on the sand. The 20-day SMA is flexible, right? It moves with the price, but it's a really good indication of the overall sentiment because it just takes the last 20 days of movement and effectively lets you know the average price. Okay. Again, SMA is the key on larger timeframes. EMAs are better on smaller timeframes. My personal opinion, others will disagree, but that's essentially what I like to use, and it's served me well over the last 20 years. MACD is converging, looking strong here. There's really nothing on the daily that tells us it wants to shift momentum. We can only really identify that in the smaller time frames, so let's go ahead and look at the 4-hour here. So first of all, we can see obviously some overextension here. We're at a 9+1, so we've moved 40 hours in the same direction, which really just implies that a correction would be necessary. Okay, and the reason why I feel that way is just because Solana is really good about hitting 9s and maybe just hitting an extra candlestick or two above that. Okay, and my theory there is that there's always these little levels of liquidation where the price action is like, I don't want to go any further. People will start entering shorts, and then the price wicks up and kills the shorts. Same thing here as well. 9+2, 9+3. We're at a 9+1 right now. Hypothetically, by the end of today's trading day, we should experience a price action pulling back after one last liquidity sweep. Again, these are just trends. These are not things that are official, something to pay attention to and to understand, because again, coins have a tendency of repeating similar behaviors. That having said, taking a look here, stochastic RSI is too high. We can't really get an accurate reading if it's going to come down or not. But once it does, we do got to recognize that'll be our second divergence, and that is more impactful than the first. Okay. Again, as I've mentioned before, that's a strong likelihood there. RSI and money flow index are still pretty high. That's a good sign. That really implies the price should not pull back soon. Okay. So even though all those little things that we just noticed, those may never come to pass. All right. So just all the more reason to keep your head on a swivel. You recognize too also the moving averages. We're well above them. And until we break below either just say the 20 or the 50, we're in a situation where we're going to probably continue to go up, right? Doesn't mean we can't still correct ourselves in the meantime. It just means the overall sentiment is moving up. All right. I still think $100 is very much a realistic thing. Okay. Is it going to happen right now? Probably not this week, but my speculation is coming weeks here, of course, we should see something along those lines. Having said all that, the 4-hour time frame looks pretty much, as you can say, just bullish. Slight anticipation of the price pulling back. We take a look at the hourly. We can see the same scenario here as well. There's no reason to close your long position. Keep everything open until the lagging span intersects with the price action, whether or not it does one of those or one of these. We're going to see the price action still continue on its merry way and stay above the cloud. Okay, so there's really no reason to consider a short position right now. Okay, I feel like a broken record saying that in almost every single video that I make, but I can tell you that it's an important factor to recognize. Okay, so please, please, please don't be one of those few people that try to short consistently, destroy your portfolio, and then eventually you catch that one magical short that goes all the way to the bottom. Well, that's all well and good, and you can probably post that on Twitter, Telegram, or Discord and be like, hey, look how awesome I am. That doesn't serve any purpose because you destroyed your account, right? So all the more reason to just relax, pump the brakes. All good. No, you don't need to worry, okay? There's plenty more opportunity out there if you miss this one. That's, I guess, all I'm getting at. But again, shorting is not really an ideal scenario. Let's take a quick look at the 15-minute here, just to quickly note on our CC Golden indicator, because I got the question a lot yesterday, because we got a lot of new people purchasing this indicator. The whole concept of this indicator is pretty straightforward. It gives you some buy signals, right? And of course, there's a sell signal to follow, right? So once it hits that specific state and the parameters are met, we see a sell signal here. So in this instance, had you bought roughly at this point and sold at the lowest candle here, you would have taken about 6.5%. Yeah, same scenario here as well. You buy low, sell high effectively. Even at the lowest point would be 4%, upwards of 6%. Okay. Again, the concept is to buy when you have confirmation and to sell when the parameters are sufficient. And coincidentally, right now, we're seeing 2 buy signals. I think there's a strong likelihood we're going to see a sell signal soon. Okay. Again, once we sweep that upper level of liquidity. So again, these are just some things to kind of help educate you, just because I got a lot of questions yesterday on the indicator. We got a lot of new people purchasing that. It is available on our homepage, of course, if you're curious, cryptocash.tech. And obviously you want to become a better trader, have some signals to follow, of course. Also, the same thing applies. It's all inclusive in that membership. So check that out in your own time. Regardless, though, I want to say thank you again so much for the awesome feedback. My Solana community has turned out to be fantastic. We have tons of new members over in our group, our Discord here. In fact, I'm curious how many members we got yesterday. Yesterday we got, well, it's more than I can count. I don't want to take the time to count. Probably somewhere in the range of 20-some odd members. So again, fantastic to be able to have some new community members over there. Thanks again so much for making my life a better place. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. And you have yourself a great rest of your day. Oh, very last thing too. I'm sure you've heard this before, but Bitunix, phenomenal exchange. Link down below for some significant benefit rewards. These are available up until the year end. And if you use my link to register, you'll be eligible for future trading competitions. We use this exchange mainly because they offer KYC and no VPN requirements. Okay, it's a pretty big deal nowadays for a lot of my US and Canadian members. Thanks again, Bitunix. Have a great rest of the day. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.